In this video, we're going to take a look at how to draw a realistic ear using graphite. We'll use a two-step process to accomplish this. First, we'll define the contours of the outlines, and then we'll add value. We'll use two pencils, an HB pencil and a 4B pencil. The first step is to define the general contours or the outlines. So using an HB pencil, we'll create lines that will establish the areas of highest contrast, of darker values and lighter values. In this case, we'll start with a line that is the outside line of the ear. This line should come up, outward, and then proceed downward. There could be some areas where the line bends inward and areas where it protrudes outward. Adding these will make the line appear more realistic. The next line we'll define is on the inside part of the ear. We'll begin going upward and out. When we bring the line up, we'll let it overlap the line that goes behind it. Here again, the line may bend inward and outward to enhance the realism. Next, we'll add the bit of cartilage that happens where the ear meets the head. This line will be unique to the person that you are drawing, so pay special attention to this. Also, there's an area of high contrast that happens on the inside portion of the ear. Although this is not defined as a contour line, we'll still create a line to define its location. We'll add just a couple more contour lines to indicate where the ear meets the side of the face. Another area of high contrast exists on the inside portion of the ear. We'll indicate its location with a line. We'll also give some indication of the bottom portion of the neck and the hairline that happens behind the ear. We'll finish these areas off to help make the ear feel more natural and realistic. Next, we need to consider the values. Value is defined as the darkness or lightness of a color, and it will help create the illusion of the form that's necessary on the ear. Generally speaking, protruding areas will have lighter values. These areas might even be highlighted, and the white of the paper can be left in these areas to make them feel like they protrude. Receding areas, however, will be defined by darker values, since less light can penetrate these locations. So we'll put more pressure on the pencil and add more pigment in these areas to create the necessary darker values. We'll start adding the value or the shading using an HB pencil or a regular number 2 pencil. We're going to start with a lighter pencil because we want to be careful that we don't make the values too dark too soon in the process. We'll begin in areas of obvious darker values. In order to create smooth transitions or gradations between darker values and light values, I'm using a technique known as circling. This is where I take the tip of the pencil and make small circles on the surface. This will lead to smoother transitions between darker and lighter values and produce rich midtones. As you work, make sure you are paying close attention to your subject, whether that be a live person or a photo reference. Pay attention to the values and the slow changes in the values that occur in your subject. Be sure to work slowly and patiently with your drawing. Slowly let your drawing develop before your eyes. Patience is an important part of creating a realistic drawing. We'll continue working the values on the inner part of the ear. We'll address the outer part of the ear once the inside portions of the ear are complete. In this example, I'm not using any smearing or blending techniques, such as using a blending stump or using my finger. I'm allowing the texture of the paper and the smooth marks that I'm making to create the skin texture that's necessary for realism. It may be frustrating if you're just beginning to create these smooth transitions of value with the pencil alone, but be patient and practice. It'll pay off in the end if you work slowly and learn how to master this technique. Any areas that are rounded or change direction will likely see a value change. In this case, it's darker around areas where they curve into another area. This is also true at the bottom portion of the ear where the lobe hangs down. We'll continue now adding value to the outer portion of the ear. Here again, where the ear curves around, the value will become darker. Most areas on the ear will receive some application of the graphite. The exception, of course, is in the areas of strongest highlight. There are only a few areas where these areas of strong highlight exist. We'll continue slowly building up lighter values around the outside portion of the ear. These areas will contrast with the darker values that we'll add to the hair in just a few moments. As expected, a bit of darker value exists underneath the ear, creating a cast shadow on the neck. A strong highlight exists on the upper portion of the ear. We'll use a vinyl eraser to erase away the contour line, leaving an implied line. Now we'll use a softer graphite pencil to further push the darker values. In this case, I'm using a General's Layout pencil, which is about equivalent to a 4B pencil. This softer and darker value will increase the value range. Having a full range of value will lead to a more convincing illusion of form in the drawing. We won't add the softer graphite in all areas, just the areas of darkest value. We'll use the same circling technique that we used earlier to create smooth gradations or changes in value within the drawing. Here again, we'll avoid using any blending tool like a blending stomp or a finger. Using the soft graphite pencil, we can establish an area of hair. In this case, the subject's hair is very dark, which will help make our ear stand out even more. We'll use a few directional lines with heavy pressure to create the illusion of natural hair. We can also add a few stray hairs using a few short marks. Lastly, we'll erase any stray lines. And now our drawing of a realistic ear is complete. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you enjoyed this video and you're ready to learn more, why not check out 4 video courses, live instruction, and over 6,000 minutes of art instruction, which include ebooks, live lessons, lesson plans, and more. Just click on the button to learn more now.